All right, y'all, welcome back to another I'm Gonna Pack It video. And we got a bunch of stuff we're gonna pack today. First of which is this little Pentax point and shoot camera. We use a 754 box. And we also have a question. We're gonna do a few questions every now and then. This is Zora Sells. Can y'all read that? I'm an everything seller like you all, and I'm sick of scrambling for boxes. What are the best sizes to buy and have on hand? That's a really good question. And that's actually something I'm still kind of working on myself. But if I had to tell someone, if I had to give someone some advice about that, it's always going to come down to what you sell. Because, you know, even though you're an everything seller, you still probably aren't going to have the same box requirements we do, just because everybody sells different stuff. But I'll give you like a really generic answer, how I would answer this for anyone. Be a good starting point anyway. Yeah, that's a good size. And someone who's just starting out wants to get boxes, what would I do? I would say I'd recommend you get 864s, 644s, and we're just talking boxes here. We're not talking any other, we're not talking poly mailers or anything like that. So I'm going to say 864, 644, 12, 12, 12, and 1086. And then from there, I would just see, I think that would get you, like, even in the spots where the box wasn't perfect, I think you could make it perfect. And then that would be a starting point. And then as you sold stuff, you would kind of say, well, man, I'm always having to resize this, or I'm always having to put too much void fill into these boxes. So I really have like a dead spot in my box inventory in between this size and this size. So maybe I'll try one of these. That's where this came from, as a matter of fact. Like, I wouldn't recommend that anyone like has to have this because it's in between a couple of the sizes that we stock a lot. Like if we ran out of these right now, I could just use an 864 instead, and it would be just as good. So let me get the next thing. All right, we sold this little Boss Hoss motorcycle. But yeah, the yeah, I think 12, 12, 12, 10, 8, 6. If you sell a lot of books, or maybe larger action figures on card and things like that, maybe you might want to go 12, 10, 4 as well. And then other than that, just see what comes up, because I don't know like what kind of bigger stuff you sell. And also what would matter to me too, to answer that, would be to put this kind of angle, it's a big card, would be that you know, if you have, do you have a store local, like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, or an actual box store, or, you know, something like that that you can use when you're in a pinch and you're shipping something different that you need, you know, you might need bigger boxes for occasionally. If you have a place you can just run out and get to, like I'll run to Home Depot sometimes if I need a large box. Then you know, I don't necessarily like to stock that stuff because I don't use it a ton. All right, we're packing a cookbook now. And like, even if something like this came up for you and you didn't have this, then you could always make do with some cardboard on either side, and then like put it into a something works. and put it into like a poly bag, or, you know, I mean, like most things, as long as you have some amount of packing supplies, you can kind of cobble something together. All right, we're going to pack this little Mickey Mouse watch. Very, very good condition watch. It does work. Took a long time to sell. I guess people don't really use watches too much anymore. John D. Lonnie, I never realized how much packing paper can actually be stuffed into a box, like when I watch your packing videos. I'm like, surely he can't put any more in. Then you tear off one or two, or even two more long sheets. LOL. Yeah. You know what's funny about that is that when I edit the packing videos, I think the same thing you do, John. I'm like, okay, that's the last one I'm using, and then I do another one. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I using so much paper? And then I think about it the next day, like I'm thinking about that because I self-critique, and then I do it again, and then I edit. It's like it's a never-ending thing. And I'm almost wondering if it's not like a... See, like, that looks like a lot of paper. But then when you kind of crumple it, it's not. But I'm just using one here. One piece this time. But I almost think it might be a combination of me using a lot of paper. And also, I think the paper just like... I think it just looks big. I think maybe it's just, I don't know. I probably use too much. I overdo pretty much everything when it comes to packing. We're gonna pack a little Snaggletooth guy, vintage Star Wars action figure. I think some of it too. I feel like I packed pretty much the same way I always did, but it's really difficult for me to say that I pack exactly now while I'm filming it all. It's really hard for me to honestly say that I pack the exact same way I did when I wasn't filming. That would have to be a lie. Because nobody ever does anything this exact same when they're being watched versus not being watched. It's just not, that's just not, you know, like you're gonna do it better. You're gonna do, well, not, maybe not even better. Better might not be the word. Gonna do it like, I'm gonna pack everything. I'm gonna probably overpack a lot of stuff. Hang on, let me get another. All right, packing up a treasure hunt. But yeah, back to that. I wouldn't say I've drastically changed the way I pack because I'm filming. But I will say that, like, if I'm considering two methods, right? I'm like, well, you know, I could do it like this, but then I could also do it this other way. It's a little easier and faster, and it's good enough. Like, it really is good enough. Like, I think it'll be fine like that, but this other way is better. Definitely better, for sure. Then, you know, maybe I wouldn't choose the slightly sketchier method because I'm filming. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But I definitely feel like I've always packed pretty much like this, at least for the past couple of years anyway. All right, let's see, how high do I want to make this? Like, all this resizing and stuff, Candace could tell you, I've been doing that pretty much since you've been in the shed, huh, Candace? Yep. With my resizing? She said yep, I couldn't hear. But yeah, it certainly does look like I use a lot of paper. I almost feel like it's an optical illusion somehow, but it's not. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think that's got a fresh blade on it. Did you put a fresh blade on this knife, Candace?
No, do whatever you want.
No, you don't. Yeah, I need to get a blade service, huh? Uh-oh, did I not put a... No, I did not. I'll write up a thank you note. Thank you card. All right. Let's see. And a sticker. Sorry, y'all. I usually try and have that ready to go. And I need a name, too. I think it's Darren. No, Daryl. The last one was Darren. Thank you, Daryl, 1L. Lonnie. Okay. All right. But yeah, whenever I watch myself pack, I definitely I use probably a little more paper than I need. And I certainly use more tape than I need. But I always pack to my satisfaction. There we go. All right, that one's ready to roll. All right, shipping a little finished G.I. Joe part. This is a case where I always ship stuff like this in a box. It's a little bigger than what I feel comfortable using a bubble ball for, like in a bubble mailer, like I do with Walmart pens a lot of times, other real small stuff. But it's still going to be, that's why I recommend the stock 644s, because for these kind of cases, I can send, I mean, this does cost a little bit more than a bubble mailer, but it's not going to cost more postage because you can still ship it at 4-ounce rate. See, that's only .18. So that one's done. Next up is this really cool challenge coin. It has a great look. Look at that trident. I love this coin. And challenge coins in the military, usually they're given out as like a this little, oh look, that's perfect. Usually they're given out as like an attaboy, or sometimes people have them made up for, like if you're on a deployment somewhere for 90 days or something, or you're on an exercise or whatever the case may be, they'll have them made up for that. You could buy and get you one, or sometimes they're given out as an award. And yeah, they're just cool. This is a nice one. Got this from a storage unit buyer. Challenge coins also make great card protectors if you're a poker player. They're just cool. They feel very satisfying in the hand. All right. That is done. And that is bubble ball packing. And that's an example of something. And look, this, I'll also show y'all. This is why usually when I'm going to do a bubble ball, I will put the label on first, because now you can get like these weird things like this. I'll still be able to do it though. Okay, we got a bunch of these little Snoopies here. These guys are cool. We go 644. Back to that box question. It's a good question for us because it hadn't been that awful long that they've had the Ground Advantage shipping method available, and before that it was still a lot of brown boxes like we're doing here, but it was also a lot of priority boxes too. It was a mix, and normally I wouldn't use one of these brown boxes. See, now I'm trying not to use as much paper, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, the only time we use brown boxes is if something was going UPS, going media mail, or going what? First class package. And now we use brown boxes for pretty much everything. So I didn't really know exactly what to use either, or exactly what we wanted to stock either. As a matter of fact, we're still kind of working on it. Still trying to kind of figure it out, because let me get next. All right, we're gonna pack this little white Ferrari. It's a treasure hunt loose, because like when it comes to these boxes, I know I show a lot of like resizing and building up boxes and, you know, reshaping and stuff like that, and all that is cool. I do enjoy it. It's a useful skill to have. Comes in very handy. I like sharing it with y'all. But ideally, like in a perfect, like if things were the way I wanted them to be, we would have like basically a space big enough that we could buy a range of boxes in all different shapes and sizes. I would just stock them all. I would just stock all the boxes. And I would always just be able to have exactly what I needed without having to resize. That if we had unlimited space, I would have the most awesome catalog of box sizes available to me, and I would never have to resize anything, unless maybe we got a real big package or something. Because you know, resizing boxes, it's fun, it's kind of fancy, all that stuff, but it does take a lot of time. All right, we sold this Jabba the Hutt thing. I'll just leave it on there. Doesn't matter. And a lot of times we're doing this different now. A lot of times now with something like this, it's a little bigger on card or whatever. We have been bubble wrapping that stuff. Not all the time. Especially when it's a bigger card. Just because we're thinking it might get, you know, the card might get damaged on the shelf or something. Alright, let's see. But that is perfect. And I noticed, back to the box thing again, I do notice, and I have noticed for a little while now, that I am making the exact, this thing's still stripped out. The little plastic knob kind of broke. I'm making this like very similar resize over and over and over every day on this 1086 box. So that might be the one, that might be another box to or maybe I should just start buying 1084s instead, because I don't use the full height 1086 that often. I don't know, maybe I'll do both, not sure. But that, doing that same exact resize over and over and over, that's my clue that we have a hole in our box inventory that could be filled. Because if y'all watched a lot of these videos now, we do this exact same resize a lot. That would be 10.8, 10.8.4. I don't know. Is this a 4 here? Yeah, that's 4. That's a pretty good size. I'd have to think about that next time we make an order. Sometimes you never know though. Sometimes like some boxes, man, it's like, even though a 10.8.4 is smaller than a 10.8.6, if the 10.8.6 is a much more common box that people buy, the 10.8.6 could actually be a little cheaper than the 10.8.4. I'm not saying it is, because I don't know, but that's what I've seen on other boxes. Like if you compare, say, a 12.12.12 to a 12.12.9, the 12.12.12 could be cheaper, because the 12.12.9 is a size not a lot of people order. All right, we sold some books, and they're probably just about packed. Pretty close. I'm going to take a look. Let's do a question too. Let's see. This is Flipistics 4270. I've never had luck doing box and box when they're the same size. I think your idea the day of wrapping the inner item was probably the better choice. I'm curious which of the two you prefer now after having done both, and watch yourself doing both methods on something like that. So what they're talking about is had two situations where something was double boxed in a 12-12-12. Okay, I do need a little paper in here. And in one case, I took a 12-12 box and then I cut all the panels off. And instead of putting it in that box, I wrapped the panels tightly around the item. And then I took those panels then I took that thing and I put it inside of a 12-12-12 box, and it fit very well. But it did take a little bit of time. And the whole time I was thinking, I was like, man, this would have been so much easier if I would have just do this. If I would have just put that in a box, a 12-12-12 box instead, and then dropped it and then forced it into another 12-12-12 box without all that panel cutting and whatnot. And it's weird because that's something you would think I've done before, but I really hadn't. Like normally, wait till I quit doing all this packing paper and talk again. All right. Normally, whenever I'm doing like a stack of boxes like that, where one goes over the other and they're the same size, it's because I want to make the box taller. And I don't have to go the full distance all the way into the box. Maybe it just goes like that far to make it a taller box or something, right? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining that well or not, but in this case, I had to put one box completely inside of another box, and you know what? It was very difficult. I got a little unlucky. That was in the last video before this one, I think. No, it was it's probably like 3 videos ago. But it was hard. I had a bad corner that was kind of poking out, and that made it start ripping earlier than it probably would have otherwise, and I had to tape it all up. It ended up looking horrible. It was frustrating. I wasn't happy with the way it looked at the end. It was packed well, which that's the main goal every time. But yeah, looking back now in both packs, the wrap was the better way to go, for sure. There's no doubt. We sold this PS3 game. I want to show y'all something about this real quick, okay? So I think it's pretty, especially these PS3 cases are really, of the video game cases, these are probably some of the tougher ones. And normally I just ship in a bubble mailer, but I wanted to show y'all something here. So that's .32. That's an 8-ounce rate. If I want to do this, that's still an 8-ounce rate. So it doesn't, and this is scrap board, which I end up with unlimited amount of scrap cardboard in here. Have all I need and then some. So this basically is free for me to pack it like this instead. And you know, I'm not saying I'll always pack them like this. I do often just slap them in the bubble mailer and close them up, and may have had a few problems over the years, but not very many. Now, I would never ship like a CD with a jewel case or something. That would get packed a little better, but yeah. See, this is indestructible now, pretty much. All right, packing Hellboy role-playing game stuff here. Some books, some screens, etc. Definitely will fit in this box. 12-10-4. First I'm going to bubble that stuff. I might put a, this is basically, this is going to be one of those spots where it's probably going cubic rate, 12-10-4 cubic. And the weight is not going to be like really critical. Put some on the side. Thinking I might do a wrap. Scrap wrap. TM. Let's see what I got. I think I had some chunkier cut off. Oh, I might even have something up there. Let's see. Got some chunky little cutoffs in here. Let's see what I have. Actually, my cutoff supply is getting to be a big mess. What I want to do. Let's see. What do I want to do? Kind of like that. I was kind of hoping I had something wider. Let me see what I got. I have this from some kind of weird failed pack. I don't remember what it was. Look at it. This will be good though. I don't mind cutting this up at all. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. A wrap like that. Perfect. Okay. So the thing is, I don't have a ton of room. I don't have a ton of room to spare in that box, so I'm gonna have to make this fairly compact. Gotta cut all this flap off. I don't think I'm gonna save these because they're, well, y'all see they're kind of like folded and misshapen. I don't really have much strength left. I don't know. I feel like if I put those in my scrap box, I would keep on avoiding to find the flat stuff. Okay, let's see what we got. You might like this. Probably not going to use all of it. Yeah, there we go. That's enough of it right there. Do that. Yes, I will get that in a few minutes. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I just like that better. Oh, look, it fits. Not by much. Man, it fits really good. Do this one time. Gotta do something. Gotta either fill the void or cut it down. This looks like a real easy cut down. What you talk about strong? I like that. Okay. Yeah, I guess this isn't medium L. Some of that stuff in there is medium L. Some of it isn't. Like I don't like the screens. There's like some divider screens or whatever. I guess to hide what you're doing. I really don't know anything about the games. Maybe the Dungeon Master, maybe if there is such a thing. I don't know. That's to hide actions behind a screen or something. That wouldn't be media mail. So, okay. That's ready. All right, we sold a, I was about to pack the thing, I guess. We sold this Walmart pen, stationery department. And we had a question on the other channel, Shedflip's channel the other day. Sounds weird. How many have we sold? Really, how much have we made from these? Really good question. We bought a lot of them, and we've sold a lot. We've sold probably over half, or maybe half. I don't know. But I did look at it the other day. I'm going to get an answer for that. It's gonna take a little bit of time. I'm gonna have to bring in the download the report, and then some things. Some of them there were more than one on an order, etc. I'm gonna have to bring them into a spreadsheet and refine the data, and then I should be able to figure it out. It's probably in the $2,000 realm, I would say. This one's done. All right, next up is this Monopoly, Sailor Moon Monopoly, sealed. Which I did steal sealed from Pat the NES Punk. I don't know if anyone watching this will even know who the heck that is. Somebody probably will. You've been around a while. Actually, fun fact, I steal that from Candace. The first time I saw Pat, I didn't even realize who he was. I saw him he brought, like, Pat the NES Punk, he brought a some kind of like oh, I remember what it was. It was his Nintendo World Championships cartridge, where it had the dip switches, you could dial in like what game to play and stuff. And it was like super price. I don't even remember what it was, like how much it was worth or whatever. I think he was dealing with Chum-Lee. He did not make a sale, but I saw him on that years ago. That's probably 15 years ago. And I didn't think about it again. I didn't even know who he was. And then after I started getting serious about reselling, there were a couple of channels I've watched. This was like back in 2016. There were a couple of channels I watched to learn about video games, because I knew video games were hot. Video games at that time were fairly plentiful. Like, you could find them pretty often out there. And look at that. That's perfect. It's gonna be nice and strong too. Matter of fact, I'll probably be cutting a lot of this flap. I can't go ahead and cut this flap now, because even if something else happens and these flaps don't reach, these will reach all the way across. But yeah, I didn't really know that much about like more modern video games, more modern than from the 80s, I should say. And I didn't know anything about Nintendo at all, because I never had a Nintendo when I was a kid. I had a couple of friends that had them, but I had computer early, so I really did not really know that much at all about any of that stuff. So one of the things I would do, I would listen on garage sale weekends. I was driving around going to garage sales. I'd fire up the latest version of the CU podcast, completely unnecessary podcast, and Pat the NES Punk. And that was the same Pat. I didn't realize it for a long time. That was the exact same Pat that I'd seen on Pawn Stars years before that. So I thought that was interesting. They still he still does some stuff. He writes books about video games, and he does have a YouTube channel and stuff. I don't even know how I got on this topic. I really don't. How did I get on that? I don't know how I started talking about that. Oh well. Okay. But yeah, that channel, there are actually a few others I would watch a channel called Video Game Resellers. And it's this guy down in Tampa, Florida. He would go out garage sale. He would go out and hit garage sales, find all kind of stuff. And he's a collector too. So I mean, he knows what he's talking about. He's not just a flipper like me. Like, he was a collector and and he was like into it. Still is. And he would go out to garage sales and he would show his scores and talk about what stuff is worth. He would also sell. He had like a booth at a flea market, and he would set up and sell. It was actually pretty entertaining. Very entertaining way for me to learn at least what most of the heavy hitters were. Between those two sources, I learned a ton about video games as a reseller. There are a few other channels too, but I was completely ignorant about video games and, you know, values and whatnot when I first started this stuff. Let's see. Go. And so that's why, another topic. All right, we got I have an order for some Paka Paka Cloud Cats. Paka Paka is it's been pretty steady, I'd say. Pretty happy with the results of that, especially since we had never heard of it before. Didn't know exactly how it was going to sell. It doesn't hurt that this stuff is actually kind of cool and unique. Like, I haven't seen this kind of stuff before. Let's see, we go paper. Pretty relaxing packing day today. There's nothing really. I guess we've had a couple of. There's nothing really difficult packing today, honestly. There's just not. Some days are just kind of easy. And some days you have to pack a big old stack of heavy board games or crowbars or. This is good. I appreciate both kinds of days, because usually when the packing is really difficult, the money is usually a little better too. That's done. We're packing a Treasure Hunt Lamborghini Countach. Again, we're going to make that same resize we make every day. This is going EIS, by the way. Doesn't really change the way I pack much at all usually. Don't bubble that guy yet. I wonder if I can just replace that knob. Where the heck would you find that at? Or just that whole little screw thing right there. That's all. That's the only thing that's wrong here. This little plastic piece needs to be metal. Probably over tightened it, I guess. I don't think I did though. Let's see. I do usually try and get it pretty snug though, so I don't want it to slip. It ends up getting stripped out. Okay. I do like answering questions in this format. If you'll have some other questions y'all like me to answer. But keep in mind that the video that you're watching now, by the time I would read a question, it would probably be 2 or 3 weeks later before you'd see it. So, because I'm filming this right now, but the video that I pulled the questions from is from a video I filmed last week. But then this video isn't going up until next week, so I think that's at least 2 weeks, maybe more. This is done. All right, y'all, we gotta pack the Havalin hat. We're gonna use one of these. These aren't in the box anymore. I don't know what happened to the box. We have another box over here though. It's these 10-gallon wastebasket clear things. That's what we use for hats. And for some other stuff occasionally. They're real flimsy, thin bags. So they're not suitable for anything other than like an inner pack kind of thing. They're also they're light, of course. They don't add much weight to the package, that's for sure. It's easy enough. Another hat coming in a minute. I don't know if we're going to be able to use an 864 for it. Might be going back for a 1086 again. It's this hat. Okay, this hat's a little bigger. It's not like a true flat brim, but it's pretty close. This will not fit an 864, at least not well. So I'm going to use a 1086, and I just weighed it. I just weighed the hat and the box together. They're going to be 12 ounces, which makes sense. The last hat we packed was 8 ounces. I think it was like 0.44 on my scale. 8 ounce rate. This is going to go 12. So there's no reason. I mean, this isn't like particularly fragile or anything. So there's no reason for me to size this box down. I'll put a little bit of paper. And it'll still go 12 ounces. So just do this. I'll always have to resize it perfectly and stuff. So that about fits anyways, close enough. That's a cool hat too. Nice looking hat. That one's done. Then you got one more thing today. All right, last pack of today. We do have, happy to say we have had a good sales day today. So we're going to have a bunch of good orders to pack tomorrow. Now these bookends are awesome, first of all. Vintage for sure. And very cool. I love nautical themed stuff. So this was a good one. They are right at the same height as the box is, like this, but I do have some space here. Got plenty of room to maneuver, so I can actually just do a resize on this box, and then I can do like I'm planning on doing is just putting them like this, laying down like that side by side, and I'll bubble wrap. And yeah, I just need a little more room. So I am going to be doing a resize here. So this is the only somewhat not standard pack, at least for us. It's not a standard pack. Let's see. What am I doing? Here. This. Okay. I wish I would have packed this first because I'm a little tired now. Let's see. I think I need to be at 15. Let me see if that's going to do. Yeah, that's a good place to be, I think. So we'll do that on both sides. Definitely want to make sure these bookends make it. Well, I want to make sure everything makes it, but especially the vintage stuff, man, because you can't always just replace it. Okay, here we go. Oh, getting tired here. Let's see. Alrighty. Okay, I think y'all know the drill now. There may be another resize coming, I'm not sure. Let's see what it looks like. I did appreciate all those easy packs today there. Nice little change. Some days when you come in here and they're all weird special packs, it can be a lot of work. Okay. I'll come up here. Here we go. I haven't really thought this pack all the way through. I don't think it's going to get too nuts. I think it's going to be bubbles and paper. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we're looking like. I do think we're going to end up like going down at least a little bit. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and bubble these guys up a little bit. What I might do is just put a little paper in there, or bubble wrap. It's kind of a weird, you have a bunch of little parts like that. Kind of definitely not a standard kind of pack. I mean, really the only thing you don't want to happen, you don't want to bend up that mast and some of those other metal parts. That's what we're really, I think we have adequate room inside of the box to where that's not really going to be a huge problem. we get this done, we're gonna paper inside of the box, the bottom, and then we'll just flip these in the paper. Okay. You know what? I had a bunch of cutoffs. Remember those? Whoa, they're falling all over me. Okay. Remember those cutoffs I had earlier? Let's see. Probably do something with this stuff. Look at that. That'd be kind of nice in there. Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, let's maybe I'll trying to create a little bit of a cradle there. Okay. And we're still gonna paper, but we're not gonna paper probably quite as much as we would without that. Make our little stack. I want to see where the mast is right here. And I can just fold that down. Do the same thing over here. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. But I can fold those little guys down. Way some. We'll get it the other way. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, all good there. Let's see how much I'm gonna size it. I think this much. It's good. Okay. I got these panels too. Slide them down the sides. I was going to try and bring that around, but I'm just going to cut it off. I might go slide it in there better. Yep, that's what I need to do. And then I can go. Let's see. Another little piece right here. Tighten things up a bit. Okay, and then I think I'm going to go like this. Do have a fold right there, don't I? Where's my... Oh. Not wanting to break on that. Oh, I didn't score that very well. Trying to watch out for all that paper and stuff. Didn't go deep enough. Still not, oh, let's see. Still not really wanting to fold on those scores. What's going on here? Let me try this other side first. Okay, that one folded on the scores. See, this one is not wanting to. That's a odd little thing there. Okay. All right. That's a weird thing there. I'm gonna use a piece of vertical tape there. Close to done. Okay. 3 more pieces. 1, 2. Usually try and hit those score marks. All right, that's it for today, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. All right, welcome back, everyone, to another day. Actually, you've been here. I'm the one that's been away. You've been sitting there the whole time. First thing up, we have a bunch of stuff to pack today. This is a Star Wars air cars? No, car ships. Where I got the air cars from. All right. We're doing 16 by 20. This thing, I measured it. It's like 13 inches long. So that's a kind of a perfect box there. We will resize the height of it, but other than that, it's a really good size. I don't know. I think 16, 12, 10 might become a full-time addition to our box supplies, because I've been finding I use it a lot. It's good for like a lot of games, puzzles, stuff like this. It's just a good size. And I do like it better than the Home Depot boxes because it's wider than them. The Home Depot boxes are like 1511, I think, and the 1612. It's a lot bigger. Okay, let me see. Definitely going to take some off of this. Not a ton, but we need to get it. Definitely want to get it below the I think I figured it out. I think 12 9 can ship is not ship cubic, although it can. 12 9 is just under a cubic foot. So I try and, if it makes sense, get under that, and this will definitely take me under that to where there's no dimensional charges or anything. And yeah, look, that's going to be a perfect size. And this is one of the things that we did store, obviously, on the shelf, bubble wrapped. It's kind of nice, actually. A little less work when I go to pack. Base there. I'm going to use a pretty good bit of paper. I'm going to use too much there. The whole point of the papers that go around the sides are just to center it. sometimes, actually I had a discussion about this in one of the videos in the comments. I think his name is John. Hello John, if you're watching this. There's a case where I double boxed something and he was asking why I double boxed it. In that particular case, the reason, you see I could cut flaps off, but I'm not, because that's gonna make it stronger. You know what I will do? I'll fold these in first. Okay. And see, y'all see how I had the buffer zone around the edges of this? That's one way to protect something, but in those cases where you don't want to make the box big enough to do that, sometimes you can make the box stronger instead. And that's what I do sometimes. Every one of these packs, before I turn the camera on, I take a quick look at the item. Sometimes I'll use the measuring tape, and then I come up with a plan of attack only on stuff like this. Like whenever I ship something, like if I'm just going to ship this, or you know, that's really a no-brainer. All right, this one's done. All right, we're going to pack this race portal, which comes with these two cars. It's kind of neat. This thing automatically reads like the cars that are going by and times them and gives you data, stuff like that, or at least it did before they discontinued the app. It's crazy. Like the Hot Wheels ID line wasn't even that old. And yes, we did put in, we didn't really talk about the app being discontinued and stuff on the cars, because I don't think it's relevant as much. But on this thing, it was relevant. So we did mention, let me see, this might just ride like that. Yeah, it's not moving. It's good, this is fine. But yeah, we put in this listing, made it very clear that this is a collectible only at this point, basically. Okay, it does come with two cars though. That one's done. All right, y'all, this next one's a big order. I gotta make sure I get everything. Let's see. All right, Tom and Jerry, got it. This vintage Flyboy here, got it. We got Phoebe from Friends, ornament, got it. We have this little Fiestaware pitcher, creamer pitcher thing, got it. And then finally we have this Hallmark ornament, which is a partridge in a pear tree. And yeah, all this stuff goes together. Look how small it is. I just have to figure out what kind of box I'm going to put it in. I think I'm going to go 12, 12, 12 with this and size it down. And I'm probably going to have some interior boxes. We have these items here that are very breakable. You know what, we'll start out with just some bubbles, and we'll see where we go from there. See where this takes us. First of all, we're going to stuff this little cavity here. That was something I heard people say to do a long time ago with packing, you know, breakables, and I think it's, I don't really quite understand it, but I think it's something to do with trying to keep the vibrations down or something. I'm not exactly sure. It kind of makes sense, but then again, it kind of doesn't. I think it does help though. Okay. Oh man, now I'm thinking about it, maybe a 10/8/6 might even make sense here. This guy I got to be super careful with. The picture too, but this guy is more breakable. Okay. Should have done it like this. There we go. So I was going to be taping right across where there wasn't anything in the back of it. There we go. That's good. Huh. Tom and Jerry can get some bubbles too. Everybody else has them. These guys are cool. Man, I spent, when I was a kid, man, oh wow. I watched so much Tom and Jerry. It was awesome. One of my favorite cartoons for a pretty good while there. Okay, let's go take a look. Let's grab, let's get a 1086 and see what we're looking like. I mean, that stuff is pretty small. Yeah, I think we can work with this. I'm not trying to skimp or anything, but you need it to be as big as it needs to be. Okay. All right. Put just a little bit of paper under here. I do have a bailout plan too, like if things don't, like if this doesn't end up fitting, got a little trick I might use. Let's see. All right, put Tom and Jerry here. All right, then I have this stuff here that I need to fit in here too. I have a little extra bubble wrap that we'll use on this guy. I'm kind of thinking I have some scraps from yesterday that might work out here because they're kind of folded before I cut them. Check this out. Ah, look at that. Ooh, kind of digging that. Okay. That seems kind of good. Let's see. Yeah, oh yeah, that's awesome. Look at that. It's perfect. Let's do the same thing with this guy and see what we're left with here. Kind of a fluted wrap thing. This is, I like this. Look at that. That's a, it's a little protection, a little protective thing here. All right. Do that maybe? What do you think about that? You can position this closer to the inside. There, I'll put some paper here. Make sure it stays over there. Okay. And it can just go right there. This thing, you know what, this gonna go a little crazy with it. Just kind of looking to get more. Yeah, this will be good. This is good. Drop this in here like this. Okay, I'm happy with that. And now we just gotta paper this thing up. I think we're good. More paper right here. I think I'm going to do this too. I'll last line of defense. Oh, I need my thank you card. Okay, now I got it. And my fallback plan, if that didn't work, I was just going to grab another one of these, slide it over the top, make it taller, and also double wall on the sides. But it ended up I didn't need to do that. Alrighty, let's pack a Pagani Huayra. We've been trying to figure out how to say that word. I'm sure I'm gonna get it wrong. Okay. Okay, thought I had that thing licked, but I don't. I'm really hoping at some point we get more of these. I want to walk up on a garage sale. Somebody has a collection of 1,000 Hot Wheels ID. And how much you want for all those? $1 a piece. That's what I want. That's not asking too much, is it? Not only do they sell well, but you don't have that delicate card top at the, you know, that can bend and all that stuff. They're much more durable. Next thing, this Rainbow Rainmate air cleaner, purifier, aroma thing. I don't know. Basically, you put water in it, and then it spins and like fans it out, and I guess evaporates into the air. You could put different oils or whatever fragrances in the water. Yeah, anytime we find these, we buy them. And I really like it when they're like this, because sometimes we buy them and the people liked them and they used them a lot, which is awesome, but that also means that there's going to be a pretty good bit of cleaning involved. You could have some like hard water stains on the plastic, on the bowl, a lot of dust on the blades of the fan, things like that. Well, this lady, she said she tried it, and the noise of it, which is not very loud, but she did say the noise of it, she couldn't stand. So she tried it once and said no thanks. This is one of those things that I've been buying for, I've been buying and selling these things for probably 6 years now, and every single time, as long as you price them, as long as you don't get too greedy on your price, seems like every single time they've sold within a couple of days. So it's almost like selling laser toner or something, right? All right, let's see. Bring it down a little bit. Might just be able to use the setting from the last sizing. Let's see. It's a little lower. I just want to get it. Let's do the minimum resize here. Usually we can get them for $1, $2, $5. This one we paid $10 for. And I didn't even try and go lower because I was like, man, that is going to be so easy. We'll just pay the... I just didn't feel like... Sometimes I don't feel like negotiating. The thing is, she was begging for us to say $5 because she told us how much she hated the thing. The longer I've done this, the less I find, the less I try and get, you know, like if I get a good price on something, I don't even negotiate anymore quite as much. Now on a bigger purchase I will. But I'm starting getting into some, you know, somewhat serious money. And the game changes. If this thing would have been dirty, like if it would have had hard water stains and I knew we were going to have to like put vinegar in it and clean it, then yeah, I definitely would have said $5, please. Nope. When I first started though, when I first started hitting garage sales, I did so with like garage sale morning was like Christmas morning. That's how excited I would get, so worked up. Which is great, but you know, it's nice being that enthusiastic, but it was, I also wasn't like, I didn't know as many things to buy. My mental library of things that we're looking for was much shorter, and I would experience a lot more days where I would be disappointed. Wouldn't come home with as much stuff or as good a stuff as I hoped for. Okay, good to go. Hey, we sold a hat, y'all. Ducks Unlimited. Cool vintage hat. It's got embroidery and whatnot. We are using the 1086. $40 hat. It's not huge, but it's also not tiny. You see? Look. Put it in here. It'll ship in this box. I'm predicting 12 ounces. Use the 1086 and then don't have to worry about smushing this. It does have kind of a large brim on it. What I was going to say is, whenever I first started garage sailing, look, y'all, I had never been to a garage sale before, I think 2015 was the first time I ever went to a garage sale. It's just not something I had ever done. And I'm now, whenever I started going, I regretted not going in the past, because I was like, oh my gosh, can you imagine how much good stuff was out there in the old days? Oh my gosh. But yeah, prior to 2015, I'd never gone to a garage sale or a thrift store. I'd never been to a thrift store. Is that crazy? Like, the very idea of buying and wearing used clothes never occurred to me. That one's done. Sold a Nintendo NES console. And we got some wrap. Bought this at a garage sale over the weekend. Hey, you never know what somebody's going to ask for something like this. We had already bought a bunch of stuff from them, so I guess we kind of primed the pump a little bit. And they only wanted $2. Go. And I really do prefer just to sit when I get these. unless everything comes with it and it's like really simple and fast. I just prefer to sell these as is anyway, because 9 times out of 10 it's probably like this with this one too. I don't know, because I truly did not plug it in or anything. It's untested on my end, and they said they were using it for display, so untested on their end too. They didn't have any hookups or anything. And I don't know where they got it. I don't know if there was if it was their original machine or what. I have no idea. But I remember what I was saying. The point I was getting to. But yeah, oh, even if it is a good, like, it looks like it was well taken care of to me. But even on those, there's a really good chance it needs a needs the pins to be repaired or replaced. The pin design on these was terrible. Terrible. It's like, even like you could go all the way back to like Atari 2600s, and those, like, a lot of times those will work fine even after all these years. But these NES consoles, much newer than Atari 2600, chances of them working, like, you just finding a used one that hadn't had any maintenance or testing done on it, and you just put a game in it and it fires right up first time, pretty slim. You're gonna have to do at least some kind of, you're probably gonna have to pull the pins out and clean them at the very least, if not replace them. I'm gonna do my little thing where I trim a couple of flaps, put them back into the bottom of the box. And I should be good up here. See, still got a lot of cardboard up here too, so it's gonna be well protected. All right. Oh, these same people said they had a bunch of ColecoVision. They had ColecoVision consoles and a bunch of games. And I wasn't a Nintendo kid at all, because that Nintendo came out. By the time Nintendo came out, I think I had a computer by then. When Nintendo was really getting popular, I had a computer, and I had no more interest in video game consoles at that point. But ColecoVision I had. ColecoVision was the last console I had before getting a computer. And it was awesome, I thought. At the time, the ColecoVision looked really close to the arcade versions of games, especially as compared to Atari 2600. Okay, let's go. Yeah, when I first started hitting garage sales, I was getting to a point there, and then I realized, I guess I'm gonna have to continue on the next pack. This one's done. All right, for this one, I'm gonna remember where we were in that little talk. A couple of Dragon chess pieces, but not too long after I started hitting all those garage sales, I started to realize that most of the garage sales, seems obvious now, people didn't really care too much what they got for the stuff. They just wanted a little something, and most of all, they wanted to get rid of it in most cases, not always. So then I started, I would ask early on, I would negotiate on pretty much every single thing. The only time I pretty much wouldn't negotiate early on was if something was at $1. I would never go like, will you take 50 cents for this or something? But I would, if somebody was asking 2, I was offering 1. Pretty much every time. And it got to the point where like, I'm kind of a competitive person, and I was just seeing if I could do it or not. And I got like a lot of satisfaction out of negotiating, and I was pretty good at it too, I think. As a matter of fact, one of the first videos I made on the channel was how to negotiate at garage sales, which is kind of crazy because I'd only been going to garage sales for a couple months at that point. And here I am making a video about it. But Pete, the Craigslist hunter, I don't know how, but he found the video. I had like 12 ounces. Let me get the next thing. All right, now we're packing a little IBM PS2 ball mouse. I think I got this for $1, something like that. Where was that? Oh, so Pete, Craigslist hunter, somehow he finds the channel. I think I had like 20 something subs. Videos I was putting out at that point might have been getting about 30 views a piece or something. And Pete used to do a weekly live stream with, some of y'all know this guy, some of y'all may not, because he's been gone for a while. Golden Finger Picker. It's called The Reseller Pulse. Golden Finger Picker, Ronnie Hart, and Pete, Craigslist hunter. They did that show together, and Pete blew my mind. I watched their show. I didn't interact or anything. Nobody knew who I was, but I would watch the show every week. It was like, I thought it was awesome. And I'm watching the show, and at the end of the live stream, there was probably about 400 or 500 people watching, which was a big deal back then. This is 2016. Okay, that's done. We sold 40 Avengers comic books. So where was I at? Okay, so Pete shouts out my channel. My jaw dropped. I couldn't friggin' believe it. We had like 20 something subs. You basically are unknown. 20 something subs, and one of them might have been my mother, you know. Like, it was not, nobody was hardly watching. And so overnight, like, actually over the next 2 days, I ended up picking up like 300 subs, which was huge at the time. And then of course the not only the subs important, but that actually gave me the motivation to make more and more content and to keep going. Because, like, I don't know for sure, like, if the channel, let's say that doesn't happen, if Pete doesn't do the shout out, well, maybe if I keep making videos and keep going at it long enough, I think there's a pretty good chance end up in about the same place anyways. However, the question is, without that shout out and without having more people watching, how long would I have gone on making videos if they were getting like 30 views a piece. I don't know the answer to that. I would like to say I would have been really determined and just kept going, but it's really hard to say. So without Pete's shout out, I might not be doing YouTube today. I don't know. And it's funny, he did it again. This, I don't know how long it took, but at some point, you know, I got to know Pete. I was even on that show a couple of times after that, and that was cool. Candace and I, actually the rally in 2021, we spent a day with Pete and his wife. They're awesome people. Went on some tours and stuff in Cincinnati. Looked like touring this old brewery or something, but it was fun. But back in, like, I don't remember when this was. It might have been like 2018 or 2017, one of the two. Probably 2018, I would imagine. Okay, 4.5, that's 5 pounds. Let me get the next thing. All right, look at this lot, y'all. Friends stuff galore. This thing is stuffed. And we got this. We kept buying Friends stuff for about 3 garage sale weekends, and we came up with this. And once we started buying it, we were like, let's just keep buying it. We'll make a big old lot. And don't you love it when a plan comes together? This plan came together. Where was that? Oh, this was, let's say like 2018. Got about 5,000 subs. Don't have the shed yet. And Pete gives me another shout out. This time on his channel, I believe. The other shout out was awesome, but I think it was on Golden Finger Picker's channel, who had like 10,000 subs. They still got like great views though for live shows, because it was a really good show. But now the second shout out Pete gave on his channel, and I got like just a ton, like a lot of. Oh, we did meet Pete at the 2016 reseller rally. I think that's when it was. And so, where am I going with this? Oh, he did another shout out. And right after he did that shout out, I made this like monster buy of high-end sporting goods and like high-end like tactical bags and just like expensive coats and all this other stuff. I happened to make the biggest buy up to that point that I'd ever made, and so it really coincided well. Okay, I mean, that's fine. This fits good. I'm happy with this. It coincided well with getting that shout out, and from there the channel just kind of steadily grew. And at that point it was called Garage Flips, and at that point it was on this channel you're watching right now. And a couple years later, I want to say it was 2020 or 21, 20 or 21, decided to make Shed Flips channel. And the rationale there was that at that point was making, it was still just me. Candace wasn't working with me yet. She would be in the videos sometimes, so you know the people knew her, but she wasn't in here for the day-to-day grind of this. She was here for garage sales and haul videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I decided to make a new channel just for the shed videos. So I called that Shed Flips, and then Garage Flips was going to be just the sourcing videos. And the only problem was, not too long after that, I decided I didn't want to shoot garage sale videos anymore. I didn't want to do it. I did have a few Man, I got a lot of stories I could tell here. I did have a few things happen that I'll make a note to talk about that later. But there were some reasons I didn't want to film live sourcing content in public anymore, because it made me a little anxious. And now it was a painful decision, because let me tell y'all, the money could be really, really good on some of those videos, especially at that time. There weren't that many people doing them. And you know, it was, I had not a high, but I had the potential to put out a viral at that point. And actually that did happen. Okay, that one's done. Let me get something. All'Italiana. One of these. Grab 2 of these. Where was I at in my ramblings? Where was I at? Oh yeah. So yeah, there was a point when, okay, sorry, the battery went dead. Oh, so I remember where I was at now, with the ramblings. You have a lot of time for ramblings whenever you're packing stuff, right? I developed a really good friendship with 2 people, actually, you know, several people. I've made a lot of friends, lost a few too along the way, but I had a couple of really good friends. And Justin over at RVA Flips, it's not called that anymore. We do still talk every day. And also Ryan over at Thrift Mine. And still, I've been in a group chat with those guys. How long? Over 5 years now. Every day. And the 3 of us were always talking about, we talk about reselling a little bit, but more we're talking about YouTube. And Justin came up with the idea to bring his GoPro to garage sales. Nobody was hardly doing this. I'm not saying nobody, because Pete had done one before, I think, and maybe one other person, but nobody was doing it very consistently at all. All right, got a bunch of pipes here. But yeah, so Justin found a backpack clip for GoPro on Amazon, ordered it, and then he went out, he made one of the first videos like that in the space. And then Ryan and I both started making them too. Because you're like, Justin was brave. He's like, I'm like, man, I don't know if I could wear a camera like that in public and walk up, and it's going to be really like, I don't know. But he actually, the first time he did it, his claim, he went out with a cover story. He told people, and it wasn't a lie, but he told people that his grandmother loves going to garage sales, but she was laid up to, she was unable because of her health or whatever. She couldn't get out to garage sales anymore. So then anytime we went to a garage sale, he would tell people, oh, this is for my grandmother, say hi. I think she would like this. Like, he really like leaned into the whole story. And it was really funny, actually, and it was fun, entertaining. And yeah, he had a viral doing that. When I say viral in this space, I mean anything over 1 million views. So Justin had a viral. Ryan had some virals. I had a viral. My viral, I think I had 1.4 million views. And let me tell y'all, if you can get a video with 1.4 million views. All right, this is a nice little Snap-on hat sale. These are cool hats too. I think the buyer is going to be very happy with those. But yeah, if you can put up a garage sale video of any kind of length, you can get over 1 million views. you could make a little money. It was fun on a lot of fronts. I think that video made, I'll see if I can put it on the screen. I think it made about $8,000, something like that. And you know, it had a lot of other ones that did pretty well too. None of them even came close to that one, but it had a lot that did pretty well. Then at some point decided to stop making garage sale content. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? And decided just to make content here. Decided that's what I wanted to do. And at that point that meant that Garage Flips was now a channel with about 80,000 subs. Put them in separate. They don't rub on each other. That meant that I had a channel. I had one channel that had, at that point, I don't know what Shed Flips was at, maybe 20,000 subs. Had Shed Flips of 20,000 subs, and this channel right here, I think it had over 80,000 subscribers. That was 4 years ago or something like that. And so it was like that for a couple of years. Now, the videos that were on Garage Flips, they continue to get some views, but it would decline because I wouldn't put new content up. And then we got our camper, which we still have and love. And we're like, you know what? We'll use that old channel and we can make travel videos and camper videos and this and that. And so we changed the name of we changed the branding of Garage Flips to the Getaway Gang. And we had fun making some videos for that. But then after doing that for a little while, I realized, I was like, you know what? When we're getting away, we're not just, that doesn't mean getting away just like going down the road getaway. That also means getting away from, let me get the next thing. Call the Destroyer. Sold. Packed that in the Gemini comic mailer. Where was that? Oh, it didn't take me too long to discover that when we go on vacation, go on these trips and having fun, it was much more important for me to also get away from filming, get away from editing, have a chance to be in the moment wherever I was at and relax and truly get just disconnected for a bit. And so then, oh, and also, if you look at the sub count, well, that's as of right now. Hopefully this is going to change for you know, in a positive way moving forward. But as of right now, we've of course we lost a good chunk of our subscribers. We've been losing subscribers on this channel for the past 4 years. At first it was really fast. Let me get something else. We sold a brass ornate Italian made door slot thing. I'm going to use a comic mailer for it, believe it or not. I think I've mailed them all like that. Where was that? Oh, yeah, it turns out that a Venn diagram of people that want to see someone talk about garage sales and eBay and stuff like that, and the people that want to see you talk about travel trailers and going to parks and, you know, things like that, aren't necessarily the same people, which I knew that. I mean, I knew that was going to happen. So we lost. Channel started bleeding subscribers, of course, which I knew it would. I didn't at the time. I said I didn't care anyway. But yeah, we lost over 8,000 subs. Might be more like 10,000 subs we lost. And yeah, and then I quit uploading to Getaway Gang. That's been a couple years ago now. It's been sitting there. And yeah, we started started doing these packing videos, and I like these for a couple of reasons. Okay, that's done. All right, last pack of the video, Scentsy thing. I like making the packing videos because I like packing. I like talking. Packing, I kind of like packing. I don't always love it, but I like talking about packing, and I like sharing how I do it and stuff. I don't know. I find it kind of satisfying, and I'm doing it anyway. So why not make a video, right? And I did find though that I kind of thought that I felt like the packing videos were doing pretty good on Shed Flips, but I also knew that probably more than half of the Shed Flips audience didn't really want to see that. And that's never good whenever you have a channel and you're releasing 7 videos a week and most people aren't clicking on 2 of them. That's not really good. Like the best thing for YouTube is for every video that you release on your channel, that your normal followers, watchers, whatever, at least have a pretty good chance of clicking on all of them. That's what you want. So decided, and it's been kind of bugging me, and it was in the back of my mind that we had this dead channel, still had content, was still, you know, I mean, it's still getting some views, not very many at all. I think it was down to maybe 10,000 views a month, making about 50 bucks a month or something. So that wasn't really a concern, you know, money, the money it was making. And I decided to bring it back in a little different form, and let's see what we can do here with this channel. And I'm really digging it. I'm really digging doing this, and I really like also the opportunity to have these types of conversations right here, where the meat of this video is packing stuff, right? But that gives me the latitude to talk. And y'all, if y'all have watched the channel for a while, y'all know I love to talk anyway, so that kind of works out. Tell stories, behind the scenes stuff, etc., right? So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here for the foreseeable future. I'm digging it, and I really appreciate all of you that have either stuck with the channel for all these years. Some of you guys have been here since almost from the start. I see a lot of comments, and I can kind of hover over the commenter, and I've seen lots of viewers that have been watching this channel for 4+ years. There's some people that have probably been watching it for 8 years or more. So yeah, I was very glad to see the support we've gotten so far on this. And I do realize that it's going to be, you know, a long grind. I understand how YouTube works to that extent. What is this? Looking for, I was thinking about wrapping those. I might be overthinking. Let's see. They're pretty good. These boxes are sturdy. You know what? I'm gonna talk myself out of that. What was I saying? But yeah, I think we might be able to build something here, and maybe even make Shed Flips better. And I'll be honest with you guys, ever since I started YouTube, one of my big goals was to get a play button. It still is. Like, my actions may not suggest that I want one, but I do. I want one. Before it's done for me on YouTube, I would love to have at least one play button. And I think it's just a fact that if I wouldn't have never made the changes I made to Shed Flips and Garage Flips and and Getaway Gang, and now we're at I'm Gonna Pack It. I would have never made all those changes. I'd probably have, I'd have this would surely have this channel right here would have over 100,000 subs. Not a doubt in my mind. I think it's pretty obvious. So, do I have regrets? Absolutely. Did I make mistakes? Absolutely. But I am excited about the new direction of this channel. Hang on, I need to write a thank you thing. I forget what I just said. But yeah, I see myself making these videos for the foreseeable future, because you know what, I'm packing anyway. It doesn't add, it adds a little more work, but it's not bad, and I really enjoy it. So if you're enjoying this, thank you for being here. If you want to help me get a play button, have a little piece of that play button. I hardly ever ask this. And you want to watch more of these, then please hit subscribe so you'll be notified. I am planning on continuing to do these 2 times a week on the weekends, every week when I can. I mean, there may be an occasional time when I can't, but yeah, I feel like this is a good little thing for me to do here. And I think I'm becoming a better packer because of it too. All right, that is it. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.